children, today we are going to start the second lesson of your geography book. It's about the landscape of Sri Lanka. Landscape means Putala. There are relief features such as mountains, drainage patterns, like if we take sand sheets, coastal belt, and various kind of physical landscape can be seen. So we are going to learn everything from this lesson. There are relief, drainage, climate, and the natural vegetation are the main components of the physical landscape. The human landscape is created by man through his activities on the basics of the physical background. Okay. The main objective of this chapter is to study the interrelationship between the physical and human landscape of Sri Lanka. This is the thing. If we take the coastal belt of our country is an island, no? So it's covered with the long coastal belt, right? So now the people who are living near the coastal belt, in the coastal belt, now if we take like these, the people, most of the people are engaging in fishing industry, tourism industry. So those kind of activities, no? So here, Putana, those things are related to the coastal environment. The human landscape is created based on the physical environment. Understood? So here there's an interrelationship we can see. If we take the physical landscape, Putala, now here there are our country is a very beautiful island, no? So there are beautiful landscape located in our country. So it's an island in the Indian Ocean. It consists of mountains, plains, rivers, waterfalls, beaches, various types of vegetations, as well as buildings, roads, tanks, industries, and croplands built by man on this physical environment. Now here, Putala, we know about this. Relief features, if we take, there are three main relief features can be seen in Sri Lanka: coastal plain, intermediate plain, and the central mountain. Now you can see here from this green colored part around the country, that is we are calling the coastal plain, up to 30 meters from the sea level. It's a very, there we can see flatlands around that. There's no mountains. And here intermediate plain means like they are from 30 meters to 300 meters, means kind of little altitude can be seen, but not much. Okay, so and also central mountain means lot of mountains are there. Okay, so here over 300 meters means high altitude. Okay, so here Putala, now we know like the Sri Lanka, the land of Sri Lanka consists of complex physical features as a result of geoactivities that occurred during a long period in the geohistory. Among them, a silent feature is the central mountain located in the center of the country and the plain that extend towards the coastal belt. From there, you can see Putala, this yellow color part. Okay, now here intermediate plane. Okay, so here line in middle part like dark yellow color part, central hills. Okay, and you can see here the green color part is, as I said already, that's the coastal belt. Now here the land can be divided into three zones, what I explained you already, like coastal plain, intermediate, and the central mountains. If we take the coastal plain Putala, so the region from sea level up to 30 meters from contour line along the coast belong to the coastal plain. In the south, in the certain places, the coastal plain is about 3 kilometers narrow. Now you can see here in the southern part, south, you can see it's like narrow. Okay, so here coastal plain is 3 kilometers narrow and the north is about 32 kilometers wide. You can see here in the north it's too wide, but in the south it's too like narrow. Okay, so the coastal plain consists of various relief features. The lower areas of river valleys and the river mouth regions belong into this. The coastal plain has several special features such as flatland, points, lagoons, sand dunes, as well as features like braided rivers, marshy lands, and deltas. Coastal plain means Putala. Marshy lands are there. Marshy lands means Putala wetlands, like we are calling Vagurubi. Deltas are there, braided rivers, like we are calling like dried rivers are. It's a kind of a marshy land. It's a braided rivers. These features are coming under the coastal plain. Now you can see here in this picture. Now there are, you can see marshy lands are there. Um, like the bays, points, mangroves, islands, lot of things which belong to coastal plain you can see. Marshes. Marshes are formed when sediments brought by the rivers are deposited as sandbanks and blocking the estuaries of water remaining in lowlands due to the overflowing of rivers. Examples of marshes are Muthurajavila, Bundala, Kalamatiya, Somavatiya, Anavilundava and Kerala Kale. Putala, marshy lands means we are calling, as I said already, Vagurubin, like the wetlands. Because when like all rivers are adding to the sea, no? When those rivers are connecting to sea, there are sediments are bringing to the sea, like sands, and there are a kind of sediments are there. Then that area is very wet. We are calling it as a marshy land. Bay. A bay has a wide opening to the sea, protruding towards the land filled with the saline water. Bay. Many such bays are located along the side of the coastal line in Sri Lanka. Some of them are Kodiyar Bay, Arugam Bay, and Veligam Bay. Butala Bay, if we take the bay, it is a wider opening of the sea, protruding towards the land. Okay, it's protruding towards the land, filled with saline water. Now you can see here from this picture what is a bay. Lagoon. A lagoon is a lengthy stretch of an area filled with brackish water, separated from the sea by the sandbars, which have a narrow outlets to the sea. It has a narrow outlets to the sea, but only during a certain period of the year. Nigambo, Jaffna, Puttalam, Chilo, and Batiklo are the examples. Point and headlands, a land area which hard stone that protrudes towards the sea is called a point. Dondra head, Fall Point, Sangamankand, and Point Pedro are examples. Like here Puttala, it's a land area with hard stone, it protrudes towards the sea. We are calling it as a point. Okay. Island, small land areas completely covered with water are called islands. Sea cliffs. A sea cliff is a land area composed of hard rocks standing at an edge of the coast with a steep slope. There's a steep slope. Trincomalee, Kirinda, Roomasala are the examples. These are the examples for sea cliff. Delta. Delta is a land area formed with the deposit of sediments carried by a river close to river mouths with the shape of a triangle. You all keep it in your mind. Delta is a shape is like a triangle. Okay, so here Putala, it's a land area formed with the deposit of sediments carried by river close to river mouths. Close to river mouths. Okay, it's the shape of a triangle. We are calling it as a delta. There are attractive places located close to the coastal line. Blowhole is the such feature. This name has been given as a result of a splashing water up through a cave making a sound. Putala, now from this picture you can see a blowhole at Kudavella. Now you can see the water is coming with the high pressure to outside. Interior we can guess there's a very deep, it's very deep interior place. The pressure is coming with the high speeds to outside, and it's the sound is coming as a cave. The sound is releasing it like as a cave, so we are calling it as a blowhole. Mm. Intermediate plane. The intermediate plane is 30 to 300 meters in altitude. According to the map 2.1, the plane is wider in the north. I have already explained, and becomes narrower towards to the south. The feature that can be mostly seen are contour edges, residual hills, rivers, floodplains, and plains. Again, once I am going back. Now here Putala, you can see in the Jaffna, and those areas it's very wide, while it's coming to the southern part Kataragama, It's very narrow. Okay, so now Putala, the features that can be seen mostly seen are contour hedges, residual hills, rivers, floodplains, and plains. Parallel mountains we are calling Samantara. Okay, parallelly. Rakwana, Bulthota hills that extend north, west to south, east directions. Residual hills. Okay, we are calling them as in singular Seshakandu. So those are the remains of the hard mountains. Remains which had been subjected to erosion. Khatargama, Mihintale, Segiriya, Ritigala, and Govindhela, the example. There are many rivers flowing across the intermediate plain. Specific features located in between them are plains, floodplains, and the undulated lands. Central hills. Hmm. Most of the earth slips can be seen in central hills. Okay, because there are lot of mountains and all. The areas over 300 meters belonging to this zone. This is indicated in number 3 of the map 2.2. This region is more complex than the other two relief zones. Now you can see here in this picture the dark colored part, like dark yellow color part. So it's the central hill of our country. And there are various kind of topographical features: Candy Plateau, Hatton, Valley Mudder, Horton Plateau, Coastland. Various kind of topographical features we can see. There are four principal mountain ranges in the central hills with higher peaks. Samanala Mountain Range, Namanukula, Pidrutalagala Kirigalputta Mountain Range, Knuckles Mountain Range. There are four principal mountains in the central hills with higher peaks. Okay. Plateau. A plateau is an area of a flat land at a high elevation. It's a flat land, not a slope. It's a flat land with a high elevation. We are calling it as a plateau. Five plateaus in the central hills: Kandy, Hatton, Valimada, Mahavalat, and Kosland. Gapso passes. A pass is a low area located between two mountains. A pass is a lowland area, low area. It's located between two mountains. Between two. Haputele, Balana, Galagedara, Ginigathena. Okay, waterfalls. The plateaus which are located in the central hills are different heights and rivers flow across steep slope of escarpments forming waterfalls. Bamrakanda, Dunginda, Lakshapana, Dialuma, and Rambuda are examples. Okay, most of the waterfalls are starting from central hills because as there are a lot of mountains. If you take the drainage pattern, now here Putala, nowadays Sri Lanka is facing a severe disaster. The people who are living around the country, we can't point out which place, especially mountain place. Kandy, Mathale, Nuvarelia are facing a big disaster with the cyclonic situation of our country. Okay, so here like there are we can see these days earth slips can be seen everywhere of the country. People are facing like these kind of disasters. And also because of this topographical features. Okay, so here there are 103 rivers. Okay, there are 103 river valleys. Out of them 34 rivers starting from hill country. There are two types of rivers: one is the permanent, the other one is the seasonal river. Okay, so here Pute, those are flowing in different directions and aerial pattern. These rivers are known as the permanent rivers because why? Since they are abundant with water throughout the year. Okay, some rivers are that are starting from undulated lands are in dry zone, flow during rainy season and become dry during dry season. Okay, now here Putala, these seasonal rivers are when the rainy season is activating, these seasonal rivers are filling. Again, with the high temperature of the dry zone, those are getting dry. Those things We are calling them as seasonal rivers. Details of few major rivers in Sri Lanka. Now you can see here according to the map. You have to keep everything in your mind because for the O-level exam also they will ask you to mark these places. Details of a few major rivers in Sri Lanka. The lengthiest one is the Mahavali, then Malwatu catchment area also very high we can see. Okay, the 80% of the rivers located in Sri Lanka flow across the dry zone. Mahavali is the longest river as well as has the largest river basin. Hmm. Out of the total land area of Sri Lanka, 1/6 belong into this. Okay. When we consider the total drainage pattern, Sri Lanka has the radial pattern. However, various drainage patterns are formed when tributaries are added to the main river. Now here Pute, normally we can see a radial pattern in the drainage system of Sri Lanka. But various drainage patterns are formed when tributaries are added to the main rivers. When tributaries are added to the main rivers, we can see them. But among them, dendritic and trellis drainage patterns are important. When we compare the river Mahavali with Kaluganga, Kalani, and Ginganga, they flow through a short area. Okay, Kalu, Kalani, Ginganga flow through a shorter area, and the catchment area also is smaller. During the rainy season, flood occur in abundance close to these rivers. Yeah, normally nowadays also people who are living near the Kalu, especially Kalani, Gingang also facing a big problem because of the flood. Okay, Putala. Next day I hope to meet with you the climate. See you soon.